video, I shall share with you why supplier quality management is important and also what are the area of focus in supplier quality management.
Supply chain. This chain is known as supply chain, which transform raw materials to a finished good in several locations. This chain will link the upstream raw material to semi-finished goods to finished goods suppliers and involve several manufacturing facilities, organizations, and people in multiple locations, which include the logistic of moving, storing the products in warehouse distribution center and along the way in the chain, which finally will reach the end customers. Supply chain is actually very complex. Let's zoom down to just one component in a smartphone. So it begins from the raw material, from the sand that is mined from Mother Nature, and then it will become some kind of a subcomponent, maybe crystalline silicon, before it become a wafer, and then assemble into a chips and assemble into printed circuit boards, and finally to a smartphone before it reach the final consumers. So you can see that in a smartphone, there will be maybe hundreds of thousands of components or parts inside, and this has to go through the entire supply chain before it can reach the final consumer. We will look at a more detailed smartphone supply chain in the next slide. In this slide, this is a more comprehensive overview of a smartphone supply chain. So generally, smartphone will consist of these mechanical parts, memory module assemblies, printed circuit assembly, LCD modules, and battery packs. Of course, there will be some other printed circuit boards for communications as well. This is tier 1, and the tier 2 will consist of these materials and the subparts that is used to make all this material. And maybe tier 3, it will have a slightly more raw form in a sheet metal form, and tier 4 is metal ore and Mother Nature mining at the tier 5 or tier 6. So all these are linked together, and in between there will be distribution centers, logistic, transportation. So this is the whole overview of a smartphone supply chain. If there's anything that has a problem, it could happen at any point of this supply chain. It could even happens at the logistic transportation center, any of this tier. Therefore, supply quality management is very important to ensure that along all these tier suppliers, everything is synchronized to get a good quality final products. The impact of poor quality materials will cause an angry customers, late deliveries. Competitors will gain from these poor quality materials. Your loss is your competitors gain, and then you spend money to manage angry customers, and also customer will start to micromanage you and loss of businesses. And this will also impact operational waste, such as transportations of poor quality material. You have inventories of materials which cannot be used, eat up your space. The motion of working with those material, waiting for materials to come for another replacement of a new batch, overproduction where you will produce more in order to compensate for those potentially poor quality materials, and then over processing, you will need to screen, rework those materials, and finally there are also defects in it. So the pain points of poor quality materials will include bad inventories, where more than 50% of the operation costs are actually due to materials. Then there will be no materials to do transformation, which equals to no deliveries or late deliveries, which also cause unhappy customers. And then you will spend a lot of money to manage your angry customers, and production schedule, which is actually detected only by material deliveries. So money will be wasted. In supply quality management, actually it consists of quality engineering and also supplier quality management. So the most important objective of supply quality management would be to enable suppliers to consistently deliver good quality products which meets customers' requirement through engineering of quality, where you build quality into the process, building efficiency into the process, and also balancing process capability with product complexity. Means that sometimes a product which is quite complex might not have a good capability. Therefore, we have to find a balance in order to fulfill the requirements of the product. And then also process control in real time to understand that what are the quality issues that happens immediately in the process itself, and not the product control where you only get where you only find defects in the final product which is already ready to deliver to your entity. Therefore, in supplier quality management, we must look at new supplier or technology qualifications, auditing supplier's process, check whether supplier is ready for the new products, monitor the performance of the parts, screen supplier's parts if there's any quality issues. Yes, we have to lead the screening in supplier quality management. And then we drive suppliers for action plan and work with suppliers for improvement. These are the general work or role and responsibilities of supplier quality engineers and managers. Let's take a look at what is effective supplier quality management, which begins with the capable supplier quality engineering professionals that is able to manage supplier quality systematically. So supplier's part quality is actually achieved through the 7 essential parts, and there are 2 things that you must keep in mind is that you have to understand the customer's requirement and specs, and then ensure that suppliers establish the process inputs and also control those process inputs to produce parts that comply to the customer's requirement. I have created a systematic approach of managing suppliers in the 7 essential areas, which includes supplier qualifications, part qualification, sustaining management, supplier development, suppliers evaluation, change management. You can have an insights on those essentials area in the link included in the description below.
Do give this video a thumbs up if you like and benefited from today's lesson, which is prepared especially for you to enhance your knowledge in manufacturing and quality engineering. Please press the subscribe button and hit the bell icon for notification of the future video like this. I would appreciate if you can share this video with all your friends. Hope to see you in my next video. Thank you and bye for now.